A life-soaked in romance, hot and confident guys purposefully looking like they don't care, but at the same time glancing at your beauty without you noticing. Shy and still hot guys managing to find the courage to confess to you behind a school building while becoming red in the face. Yeah, that is probably the dream life of a typical high school girl. But well, Hanzo Hoshino has very different priorities in her life. She doesn't give a shit about real life romance. Spending her days at home playing video games, gobbling up on whatever type of chocolate sweets, and cuddling her beloved cat. And well, nonetheless, Anzu is extremely content with her lifestyle and doesn't have the least of a desire to change it. But one day, a magical creature called Riri that only Anzu can see and that presents itself as a love cupid barges in her house and deprives Anzu of her three biggest desires. Explaining that because of Japanese decline in birth rate caused by the fact that people are way too busy and end up never having opportunities for romantic situations, Riri, as well as other similar magical creatures, were sent to Earth in order to give people like Anzu the chance to live a fulfilling love life. And well, let's say that Anzu was not particularly digging this idea, but nonetheless, the find a romantic interest for a nerdy girl has begun. From this point on, Riri, using their magical abilities, you're gonna be altering other people's memories in order to create the most cliché and cheesy romantic situations for Anzu to live. The first element to be brought to scene is a very handsome and mysterious looking guy that also seems to not be particularly interested in romance, getting so far as feeling extremely uncomfortable when approached or even checked out by girls. His name is Tsukasa Katsuki, and he lives by himself. The second one is your typical childhood friend that Anzu, well, liked so much that she actually completely forgot about his entire existence. He's a very tall guy, extremely caring, and very innocent. And obviously hot. Well, the last and third is Hijiri Kogane, a guy from an extremely wealthy family. He's used to have every girl frowning upon him and desiring to be with him, both because of his very elegant looks and, well, obviously because of his wealth. Having always had what he wanted for his entire life, he has a very shitty attitude towards others. So much so that he almost looks completely unaware of what life is like for normal people. Now, with such a variegated cast, Anzu is gonna live through, well, basically every rom-com cliché you can imagine. This anime is an adaptation of a manga series made by Ataru Momose and was published by Netflix in August 2022, making it a relatively new series. What makes it extremely entertaining is the fact that, well, it's really not scared to be a parody of itself. It portrays all of these very familiar scenes taken from hundreds of other rom-com anime without taking itself seriously. The author perfectly knew how absurd these scenarios can get. So, well, the only way he found to insert them in a sort of a realistic type of world is by using a character that literally uses a magic wand in order to manipulate people and give life to these cringy situations. This is up until a point where the author manages to let us know that other than covering us with these absurd and extremely wacky scenes, the story is also able to portray a very serious topic such as stalking by inverting the traditional roles. In fact, spoiler alert, later on in the series we find out that the reason behind Katsuki's fear of being approached or even looked at by women is the fact that when he was younger, after stumbling upon a woman on the streets, him picking up the purse that she has dropped, he started to get consistently stalked by this woman, constantly sending him gifts and stalking him around at every hour of the day. His situation, well, became insufferable after his own father blamed him for the situation, saying that it was entirely his fault that all of this was happening. And this is what led him to move to another city and live by himself. Now, done with the story aspect, animation-wise, this anime, well, it's fucking amazing. Coming into it, I didn't expect to get such good quality animation from a Netflix rom-com adaptation, but having watched it, I gotta say, Netflix. Music-wise, well, it's there. It's just there. I honestly do not remember a single track from this anime, so I really cannot say a lot more about that, except for, well, the fact that the opening was not bad.